Hey everybody, welcome to Elevate Beauty Company. My name is Summer. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Revlon One-Step Volumizing Styler. I've had it for 6 months now, and I'm going to give you a little bit of feedback on how it's doing, wear and tear, how it's performing still 6 months in. So let's get to it. The Revlon One-Step Styler is the first blow dry brush that I tried. I have since tried a couple of other ones. I'll link those videos for you if you want to see how this one compares. And if you wait to the very end of the video, I will actually kind of give you a rundown of which one I'm currently using and why at the very end. Let's start with bristle wear. I feel like it is held up reasonably well. The smaller bristles have spread quite a bit. If you look up close, they should be all going straight up and down and be nice, tight, and compact together around those harder pink-tipped bristles. But they are kind of all spread out in a fan or like a firework. So those have not stayed in the original position. However, I don't feel like that spreading has compromised how the brush works, how effective it is. It still feels, my results still feel like the first time I tried it. So those bristles have definitely spread out. They haven't really curled or singed or retracted at all. I do imagine that at some point those bristles are gonna spread to the point where I may need to replace the product. This probably won't be the same one I use for the rest of my life. Now, the longer pink tip bristles, all of those caps, those pink caps, have stayed intact, which I think is pretty impressive. I use this every single week, multiple times a week, and I also travel with it, and all of those caps have stayed on. I will caution you when packing. I do have a section of bristles that have kind of laid down. They're not straight up. They kind of create almost like a bald spot in the brush. So there is a section where they've been kind of pressed and smashed down. I imagine that's because of packing and traveling with it. My suggestion for packing is to put it on the side of your luggage where you have your clothes. Don't put it next to your styling products or your shoes or things that are hard and will maybe damage or push and press on those bristles. I would pack it in between your jeans and not in between sweaters because those smaller bristles are, they could possibly snag those softer materials. Pack it in between your jeans, make sure it doesn't get squished. I know that it's not because of heat damage, because it's only in one little tiny spot. I imagine it's because it got packed away in a bag and was being smushed inside my luggage for quite a few hours. Let's talk about the Ionic Surface. Now, this has an ionic coating in the center of the brush where the bristles come out of. It is 100% intact. There aren't any spots where there's singeing or burning, or I don't know if you guys experience with your flat irons, sometimes the products that you use in your hair will create almost like burn spots or product spots on your flat iron plates. There's none of that in the brush. So the Ionic Surface is fully intact and looks just as good as the day that we took it out of the package. The cord is just as, like I said, just as good as the day that we got it. I do like that it rotates and spins, so you don't run into a lot of tension on the cord that could possibly damage it. The controls I'm actually pretty impressed with because there's no fading of the words. I can read everything perfectly. The control still works great. There's no glitching. It doesn't get stuck anywhere. It still moves really smoothly from off, cool, low, and high. The heat is probably exactly the same as when I bought it. It essentially has not shown very much wear and tear aside from those short bristles and the one little section of bristles where they've been kind of pressed down and smashed. I did want to point out, I took a couple photos of my brush before I cleaned it. One thing I'm really impressed with that you don't find with your blow dryer brush combo is I have found that my hair doesn't really get stuck in here and therefore it doesn't collect in the brush. That tells me two things. Number one, it tells me that I'm not having very much damage because my hair is staying in my head. and not collecting on the brush. And number two, it's showing me that it's not having a lot of tension and my hair is kind of gliding really nicely through the brush and not tangling. Where as opposed to a round brush, I notice that my hair gets stuck and I have to clean it pretty often. So basically, like I said in the video, it is held up really well. I'm extremely impressed. For the price point being the least expensive brush that I've reviewed, it has performed beautifully. I will be able to use this for a very, very long time moving forward, and I will be using this over the other brushes that I've tried. I do not prefer the blow dry bar brush that actually went back to the manufacturer because it was pulling my hair, it was getting stuck. It's just not easy to use, and the price point was, it should have like been amazing and blown my socks off for the price point that it was at. The Hot Tools I actually really liked initially. I used it for a couple days. I even took it on a trip with me. What I found though is that it made my hair so staticky. And once I switched back to using the Revlon, the static was completely gone. So I know that that was the product that was causing that. And so that one as well is gonna go back to the manufacturer, and I'm going back to my Revlon. So I would prefer this over the other ones that I have reviewed. It's been my favorite. It's held up fantastic, and you know, I think everybody should have one. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.